The PGCE PE course is for those young people who aspire to become physical education teachers upon graduation. It's a full-time 36-week course, 12 weeks of which are spent at university and 24 weeks are spent in two contrasting placement schools. Trainee teachers on this particular course have to meet the 8 teachers' standards which are mandated by the government in order to teach full-time in schools.
PGCE Physical Education course at Brighton University gives us these opportunities to work with young people prior to going on teaching placement. When we're on teaching placement, we have to provide evidence that we are working towards the 8 professional teacher standards.
These are standards that we all need to meet in order to gain our qualified teaching status, with things like today and things like the Discovery Camp, the Inclusive Festival. These are all things that will contribute to us meeting our qualified teaching status.
Set high expectations which inspire, motivate and challenge pupils.
Promote good outcomes and progress by pupils.
Happening behind me is an activity called Rocking Horse. This activity involves the children working collaboratively together but mainly trusting each other.
Demonstrate good subject and curriculum knowledge.
Plan and teach well-structured lessons.
It's fantastic in my professional development in the sense that we get to work with a variety of children from different backgrounds, different schools, different areas. It enables us to practice before we go into schools and working as a team teaching with my peers on my course.
This activity behind us is called Under the Rope. It's an activity whereby we're trying to develop the children's trust with each other. We've also blindfolded some of them so that it has to make them work collectively and they have to communicate effectively.
Adapt teaching to respond to the needs and strengths of all pupils.
Today we're using the Kimballs with the group of students that we have here at the university. We've been using the Kimballs for all sorts of different activities: trust, problem solving, team building. It's a great tool to use with the children to break down barriers that everyone's at the same level. Kimballs are a great activity because it's a great big pink ball.
On the far side we have the caterpillar tracks, which is a great way of getting them in as a team and having leaders within the group. That's called the helium stick. The aim of the activity is to try and lower the helium stick down to the floor. But as you can see, it's quite difficult, and at one end it's slightly higher than the other. Probably the best I've ever seen anyone do that.
Make accurate and productive use of assessment. Part of today is giving pupils regular feedback and encourage them to respond to that feedback.
Manage behaviour effectively to ensure a good and safe learning environment. The group are just doing a range of survival exercises where they have to, they've got a list of objects which they have found in a wreckage of an aeroplane crash, and they just have to rank order them in list in priority order.
Fulfil wider professional responsibilities.
The PGCE course is a full-time course at the University of Brighton. Whilst we're in schools, we must achieve 8 standards, and days like this help us achieve a knowledge before we go into the schools of achieving those 8 standards.
The hands-on teaching experience that we get is really important. So I've come from a sports science background, and yes, I've had some experience in schools, but these last few weeks and getting experience with all the different ages of children, we've had primary through to secondary, has been absolutely amazing, and it's been so important, the fact that it's preparing us, getting us used to building relationships in such short notice with children.
Well, at the University of Brighton, the first thing that I realised when I came to the university is the importance of inclusion, actually.
Teachers need to safeguard pupils' well-being. Teachers also need to show tolerance and respect for the rights of pupils. The last 3 weeks have been really good for preparing me into going into placement. It's provided me with a lot of opportunity to test my teaching skills.
The PGCE course at the University of Brighton has exceeded all of my expectations. It regurgitates such enthusiastic PE teachers into the profession, and I would recommend it to anybody.
We're very proud of the type of student that we have on the course. It's very competitive, and we hope that we do ultimately produce some of the finest PE teachers in the country.